Imagine seeing a baby crawl for the first time. You are filled with excitement, and you start to wonder, how do babies crawl, know when to crawl? Well, Piaget's theory can answer that question. Mostly everyone has interacted with children, whether it's your nieces or nephew or your own kids. A couple of you might wonder, how does a child develop? So learning how the children develop can help you have a better understanding if your child is on the right track. I was taking a psychology class when we started learning about different theories of child development. When I was really fascinated with Jean Piaget's theory, so I wanted to do more research on it. To have a better understanding of Jean Piaget's theory of cognitive development, I will discuss the background information of Jean Piaget, the stages, and how it's applied. Now that we have an overview, let's begin with the background information of Jean Piaget. So Jean Piaget was a Swiss psychologist. He was from Switzerland. He was interested in the thought process of children, and he had many job opportunities. He was a professor at 2 universities, and those universities were Geneva and Louisiana. His study began in 1936. He was very interested on why children were answering questions incorrectly. According to McLeod 2018, an article of Jean Piaget's theory of cognitive development states that he believed that children gain knowledge to have a better understanding of the world around them. Now that we have talked about the background information of Jean Piaget, let's transition into the stages of development. According to McCabe, 2016, an article of Development Psychology stated that Jean Piaget said that there are 4 stages of development. These stages were sensory motor, pre-operational, concrete operational, and formal operational. So the first stage is sensory motor, and the ages are from between birth to 24 months. This is where the infant starts to smell, hear, see, taste. As they get older to about 18 to 24 months, they start experimenting and trying out new things. For example, this is where they start learning how to crawl. So the next stage is pre-operational, and these are from ages from 2 to 7 years old. And this is where the children starts to put objects into categories, and they're also able to put things in chronological order. So an example of this is when the child is able to classify dogs and cats as animals. So the third stage is concrete operational, and this is from 7 to 11 years old. This is where the children are able to develop conversations with one another, and they're also able to think logically. The last stage is formal operational, and this is from 11 years and so on. And this is where the child is able to solve problems, and they're also able to form a hypothesis and test their own hypothesis. So now that we have talked about the stages of Piaget's theory, let's talk about how it's applied. According to Blick and Pope 2008, an article incorporating Piaget's theory in the classrooms, it states that his theory is used in education. And the teachers use his theory so that they'll know that the child is on the right track in their development. And the teachers can also help the students have conversations and show them how to recognize similarities and differences. Another way it's applied is psychologists. Many psychologists use his theory so that they'll have a better understanding of the child's development, and it'll be easier for them to help the children. Jean Piaget's theory had a great impact to the child's development, and it was very important. Now that we have talked about Piaget's theory, I would like to wrap things up. So today I have discussed the background information of Jean Piaget and the stages of his development and how Piaget's theory is applied. Now when you see a baby crawl for the first time, you will know what stage of development they are at.